Is your pocket change hiding a small fortune? That 1971 Lincoln penny in your collection could be worth up to $999,000, and I'm about to tell you how you could cash in on it. Stick around, because what you're about to hear might change your financial future forever. Alright, let's be real. How many of you have sifted through old pennies over the years, hoping to find something valuable, only to end up disappointed? Yeah, I get it. Most pennies are worth just 1 cent. But what if I told you one penny from 1971, with the S mint mark, could fetch a whopping $999,000? Yes, you heard that right. And it's not just a rumor, this penny has a rare version that collectors are dying to get their hands on. Now, don't start running to your piggy banks just yet, we'll get to the details soon. But before you get too excited, let's dive into why this 1971 penny is so valuable. Let's break it down. Most of the pennies minted in 1971 are pretty standard, but there's one key factor that makes the S mint mark version so unique. It's not about the copper, the year, or even the design. No, it's all about a mistake, a rare error that only a few of these coins have. You see, some of the 1971 pennies were struck with the wrong kind of die, creating a doubling effect on the letters and numbers, something known as the double die obverse. It's subtle, but to a collector, it's worth a fortune. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Some of these pennies have been sold for tens of thousands of dollars, but the real jackpot is still out there, and you won't believe how much one penny just sold for recently. But before I get into that, let's talk about what makes these pennies so special. You might be holding on to a gold mine without even realizing it. Here's where the real urgency comes in. Time is of the essence. The market for rare coins is exploding, and the value of the 1971 double die obverse penny is skyrocketing. The longer you wait, the harder it might be to get top dollar for your coin. The right buyer could be out there right now, waiting for you to list your penny. And remember, you're not just selling a coin. You're holding on to a piece of history that could make you rich. Imagine selling your penny and waking up to a bank account with 6 figures, no joke. You know, there's something powerful about finding unexpected wealth in something so ordinary. We all dream of the day when we strike it big. But here's the thing, the opportunity is right in front of you. The 1971 penny might not look like much, but for the right collector, it's a treasure. Now, before we wrap up, I'll share with you the biggest secret, the coin that just sold for $999,000. Trust me, you won't believe what it took for this penny to fetch that price. Stay tuned. Alright, you've stuck with me this far, and here it is, a 1971 penny in mint condition, with that precious double die error, recently sold for an astonishing $999,000 at auction. Yes, this coin, which is smaller than a matchstick and no bigger than your thumb, changed someone's life forever. And now, it's your turn. Imagine being the one to cash in. What could that kind of money do for you? Pay off your debt, retire early, take that dream vacation, or buy your dream house. The lifestyle you've always wanted could be within reach, and it all starts with taking action now. So, if you have that 1971 penny with the double die error, it's time to act. Get it checked, get it appraised, and get it sold. The market is hot, and coins like yours are only going to get more valuable as time passes. But remember, it's not just about the money. It's about the freedom that comes with it. The ability to live on your terms. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Check your pennies today, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next success story. See you at the top. Did you know that you might have a coin sitting in your collection worth up to $997,000? Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a single penny. But here's the catch. You have to know what to look for. Today, we're diving into the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could change your life if you find it, and I'll show you exactly why it's worth so much. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this rare penny and turn it into a fortune. Ready? Let's go. You're going through your spare change, maybe from the coffee shop or the jar you've been collecting coins in for years. You pick up a penny, and at first glance, it seems like nothing special, just another old coin. But wait. What if this penny, this simple 1973 Lincoln penny, is hiding a secret? You may be wondering, what's so special about a 1973 penny? That's the question we're going to answer today. In 1973, something rare happened in the minting process. A batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark, making them incredibly valuable to collectors. But here's the kicker, these pennies weren't meant to be rare. They were just an error, but errors are gold in the world of rare coins. And this penny? It could be worth up to $997,000. Imagine holding that kind of money in your hand. A single coin that could change your life forever. But, here's the catch, these coins are extremely hard to find. If you don't know what you're looking for, you could miss it. So, let me tell you how to spot this hidden gem before someone else beats you to it. So, let's get into the details. How do you find a 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It's actually not as easy as you might think. First, let's talk about the minting process. Usually, pennies have a mint mark that shows where they were made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the 1973 no mint mark penny? It was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but the mint mark was left off by mistake. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1973 no mint mark penny has a distinctive look. When you hold it up, you'll notice it looks just like a regular penny, except for one thing, no D or S mint mark. This small error makes it incredibly rare, which means it's in high demand with collectors who are always on the lookout for this specific coin. But here's the thing you need to know, most people don't realize the value of these pennies. They think it's just a regular 1973 penny, and they toss it aside. Imagine if you found one of these coins in your collection and didn't even realize what you had. That's how valuable knowledge is here. So don't make the mistake of ignoring it. Now, let me drop a bombshell. A few 1973 no mint mark pennies have been sold for nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth almost $1 million. That's what collectors are paying for these rare coins, but here's the part where things get even more exciting, these coins don't just pop up every day. The truth is, the longer you wait to check your spare change, the greater the risk of someone else finding it first. Are you going to let that happen? Or are you ready to take action right now? Let's get down to the action now. What can you do to cash in on this rare penny? First, take a moment to check your coin collection. Look through your pennies, especially those from the 1970s. If you find a 1973 penny, hold it up to the light and inspect it closely. Check the front and back for any mint mark. If it's missing, you might just be holding a golden ticket. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if I don't know much about coin collecting? Don't worry, you don't need to be an expert to spot a rare penny like this. There are plenty of resources out there to help you, from expert websites to online communities where collectors gather. Here's the thing though, time is of the essence. Every day that goes by, more collectors are out there hunting for these rare pennies. The longer you wait, the higher the chance that someone else will get their hands on your $1 million coin. So don't wait. Take action today. Check your change, dig through that jar of old pennies, and look for the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny. If you find it, you could be sitting on a small fortune, and let's be real, what could you do with that kind of money? Pay off your bills. Go on a dream vacation. Maybe buy the house you've always wanted. The opportunities are endless. Now, if you think the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny is incredible, just wait until you hear about the other rare coins that could be sitting in your collection right now. In the next video, I'm going to reveal even more pennies and coins worth thousands, maybe even millions. Trust me, you won't want to miss it, so, what are you waiting for? Don't let this rare opportunity slip through your fingers. Start checking your coins today, and who knows? You could be holding your ticket to financial freedom. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future coin discovery videos. The wealth you're looking for could be right in your pocket. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep winning. What if I told you that one small coin, no bigger than a dime, could change your life forever? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, not just any penny, but a 1975 Lincoln penny. This coin, with the right markings and condition, could be worth a staggering $995,000. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can find this treasure, understand its true worth, and potentially turn it into a fortune. But be warned, not everyone will be able to find one. Will you? Keep watching to find out. Begin with the basics, the 1975 Lincoln penny. A coin that looks just like any other penny you might come across in your pocket change. Most people overlook it. But not you. Because you're watching this video. You've already taken the first step towards finding hidden treasures in your change jar. That's right. This penny could be worth far more than its face value. Now, before you go scouring through your change, let's make sure you know what to look for. Wait a second. What if you're looking in the wrong places? What if I told you there's a chance you've got something incredibly valuable sitting right under your nose, but you don't even know it? Don't worry, I'll guide you through it all. Stick with me. The key here is understanding the mint mark. Most pennies you come across in 1975 will have a small D mint mark, standing for the Denver Mint. However, not all 1975 D pennies are worth a fortune. That would be too easy, right? But there's a very specific type of 1975 D penny, and it's extremely rare. Let's talk about why. In 1975, something strange happened at the Denver Mint. Some pennies, due to a rare die error, were struck in a way that makes them incredibly valuable. These coins have a double die error, which means that the design on the penny was stamped twice, giving it a distinct appearance. If you find one of these, you've got a coin that could be worth up to $995,000. But here's the problem. These coins are extremely hard to find. The number of 1975 D double die pennies is so small that they've become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors. The chances of you finding one are slim, but imagine if you do. How would your life change? What would you do with almost $1 million? That's the potential we're talking about. Here's where it gets exciting, though. Some people have found these rare pennies by sheer luck, while others have spent years combing through coin rolls, estate sales, and old jars of change. That could be you, if you know what to look for. But hey, no one's saying you need to become a full-time coin detective. You don't need to go digging through every penny you come across like it's the lost Ark of the Covenant. But let me ask you this. What if just one penny in your collection could make you a millionaire? Now, let's get to the good part. How do you actually find this coin? It all comes down to spotting that subtle, double die error. The first thing you want to do is closely examine the date and the lettering. The 1975 should look slightly doubled, meaning that the top of the digits should be shifted. And the word Liberty on the front of the coin. It'll show signs of doubling as well. The most notable sign is a slight blur in the details, like two layers of the letters stacked on top of each other. But here's the kicker, these errors are often hard to spot without the right tools. So, how can you really tell if you found one? What's the secret to identifying this $995,000 coin? I'm going to share that with you in just a second, but first, let's take a quick break. You don't want to miss the most important tip coming up. Alright, ready to hear the big secret? It's not some high-tech gadget or a magnifying glass that costs more than your car. The real trick to spotting this penny lies in the light. Stay tuned, and I'll explain. Now that you know the key to identifying the 1975 D double die penny, let's talk about how to sell it. If you find one of these rare coins, don't just take it to your local coin shop and expect a fair price. You'll need to get it graded by a professional grading service to ensure you get top dollar. Grading services will look at the coin's condition, the rarity of the error, and its overall value in today's market. A $995,000 penny doesn't just get handed out on a silver platter, it takes a little extra work. But here's the thing, even if you don't find the $995,000 penny, don't think it's the end of the road. Stick around for a second, because in our next video, I'm going to show you other pennies that could be worth thousands, and they're way more common than this one. Until then, get out there, start looking through your pennies, and you could be sitting on a goldmine. Remember, it's not just about the money, it's about taking control of your future. And if you're serious about turning those old pennies into a fortune, then you're already on the right track. So, are you ready to start searching? Or will you let someone else walk away with your future? Don't wait. Your journey to financial freedom could begin today. Subscribe, hit the bell, and get ready for the next treasure hunt. When you stumble upon a coin that could change your life forever. This isn't a fantasy. This is real. A coin worth up to $992,000. Sounds crazy? Well, it's not. And in just a few minutes, you'll discover how a simple 1978 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny could be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting for you to unlock its true value. Let's dive in and get ready to turn your pennies into life-changing wealth. Alright, let's get straight to it. You might be thinking, what makes a 1978 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny worth nearly $1 million? How could something so small and seemingly insignificant have such a massive value? Here's the thing, there are coins, just like this penny, sitting in millions of pockets across the country, and most people have no idea of their worth. But you're about to become one of the lucky few who sees the potential and makes it happen. But hold on, we're just getting started. Before we get into why this penny could be worth nearly $1 million, let's take a quick trip back in time. Picture yourself back in 1978, Jimmy Carter is in the White House, the disco era is thriving, and the US Mint is cranking out coins. Among them, the 1978 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, one of many that entered circulation that year. But here's the kicker, some of them were made under very rare circumstances, and that's where the magic happens. What happened to these pennies, and why are they worth so much today? Stick around, because you won't believe how a simple mistake turned this penny into a highly sought-after treasure. So, why is this penny worth such a staggering amount of money? The 1978 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just your average penny. Most of them were minted with a standard design and put into circulation, but some of them were struck with a unique flaw, a mistake that only a few hundred, maybe even a few dozen, have. This error, this tiny mistake, is what makes certain 1978 D pennies worth up to $992,000. And here's where it gets really interesting. These flaws weren't noticed back in the 1970s. They were just thrown into circulation along with the others, so they didn't attract much attention. Fast forward to today, though, and those same pennies are gold mines, only if you know exactly what to look for. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny worth $1 million. Is this guy serious or just another internet scam? Well, if I had a penny for every time someone asked that, I'd be a millionaire myself by now. Here's the thing, identifying these rare coins requires a trained eye, and you're about to get the inside scoop. You could be holding on to something that could be worth thousands of dollars, or even hundreds of thousands. But how do you find out if you've got a winner in your collection? Okay, here's where the real power lies. There are two key things you need to check before you go jumping for joy. The first is the mint mark. The 1978 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is crucial here because the D tells you it was made in the Denver Mint. This is important because the rare variety that holds that massive value was specifically struck there. The second thing to look for is the flaw. You'll need to examine the coin closely, especially the edges and date, because that's where the error happened. Some of these pennies have off-center strikes or some even have misaligned dates. That mistake is worth big bucks, but you've got to know what you're looking for. That's what separates rich collectors from the rest of us. And here's the kicker, finding one of these pennies could make you a small fortune, but there's a catch. These coins are incredibly rare, so how do you make sure you're not just wasting time with a normal penny? I'm about to show you how to identify if your penny is one of the rare gems, and you'll want to stick around for the most important part, because that's where the real magic happens. You ever hear the one about the guy who thought his penny was worth $1 million, but it turned out he was holding on to a 1978 Mimic instead? Yeah, me neither. It's all about knowing your stuff. Alright, you're almost there. Before you get out there and start hunting for your treasure, you need to know where to sell these rare coins. Because guess what? These pennies aren't just valuable, they're in demand. And that means there are buyers who will pay top dollar for the right coin. So, what do you do now? You go out, check your old coins, and don't settle for just the face value. You've got the knowledge now, the power to turn a simple penny into a life-changing opportunity. Maybe you're just one find away from living that wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. The coin you find today might just be the one that takes you from ordinary to extraordinary. But don't wait too long. These coins aren't going to sit around forever. The market for rare pennies is only growing, and you want to get in while the getting's good. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth up to $990,000? Yes, you heard that right. In today's video, we'll uncover the hidden value of the 1991 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and why it might be the key to your financial freedom. Stay with me, because you're about to discover something incredible. You'll want to grab a pen and jot this down, this information could change your life. Now, you might be asking, a penny worth almost $1 million? That can't be real, right? It's not a mistake, and it's not a scam. This is the incredible truth about rare coins in today's market. The 1991 D Lincoln penny may seem ordinary at first glance, but certain versions of this coin are actually worth an eye-popping amount of money. Let's break it down. How does a coin as simple as a penny come to hold such staggering value? It all starts with rarity, condition, and a small mistake made by the US Mint over 30 years ago. This is the 1991 D penny most of us know. It's nothing special, right? Just a regular penny with a D Mint mark. But hidden among millions of these coins are extremely rare versions, and one of them could be sitting in your jar right now. Hold on. I'll reveal exactly what makes this coin worth up to $990,000 in just a second. But first, let's dive deeper into the mistake that made it so valuable. Coins are made through a process called minting. The US Mint produces millions of coins every year, but every now and then, they make a mistake. It could be a small flaw in the design, or in this case, a minting error that drastically affects the value of the coin. In the case of the 1991 D Lincoln penny, some pennies were struck with a doubled die, a mistake where the image on the coin appears twice, creating a blurry, double effect. This error is incredibly rare and is one of the main reasons this penny's value skyrockets. Let me ask you, how many pennies have you come across that look off or slightly different? If you've ever wondered whether a coin has a minting flaw, you might be holding on to a future fortune. So how do you tell if your 1991 D penny is one of these rare double die errors? That's coming up next. Keep watching, it might just be worth it. Alright, this is where things get interesting. To spot a valuable 1991 D Lincoln penny, you need to look closely. You're looking for a doubling effect on the lettering and the date on the coin. Most notably, the Liberty inscription and the date, 1991, should show clear signs of being doubled. It's subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Take a look here, this is what a double die looks like. You can see the image isn't sharp or clean, instead, there's a clear ghosting effect around the design. This is where the real value lies. These coins are extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay thousands, even hundreds of thousands for the right coin. Now, I know what you're thinking, is it really that easy to find a coin like this? Well, not exactly. If it were that easy, we'd all be rich by now. But finding these rarities isn't impossible, it just takes some attention to detail and knowing what to look for. Are you ready to know exactly how much these coins can sell for? Stick around for the next part, it could be the most important thing you learn today. Now let's get to the good stuff, the money. If you've got a 1991 D Lincoln penny with that double die error, the market value could be staggering. Coins like this, in good condition, have sold for as much as $990,000. Yes, almost $1 million for a penny. It's a rare find, but it's real. This penny could bring you more money than most people make in a lifetime. But how do you sell it? First, you'll want to have it graded by a professional. A high-grade coin, meaning it's in excellent condition, will fetch the highest price. Next, you'll want to find the right buyer. There are auction houses and specialized dealers who deal with rare coins every day. These are your best bet for selling your valuable penny for top dollar. But here's the catch, the window to make money from rare coins like this is closing. As more time passes, the availability of high-value rare coins decreases. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find these treasures. Don't let that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity slip through your fingers. I know what you're probably thinking, is it really possible for me to find a coin like that? Yes, it absolutely is. All it takes is a little patience, a keen eye, and the willingness to dig through your pennies. So get started now, check those jars, and who knows, your next fortune could be just a flip away. Stay tuned for future videos, where we'll explore more rare coins that could change your life. In the meantime, take action. Check your pennies, and who knows, you could be holding on to a fortune. Yes, you heard that right. That simple penny could be your ticket to wealth. But here's the catch, most people miss it. What if the rarest, most valuable pennies are sitting right under your nose, hidden in plain sight? Today, we're going to talk about the 1995 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. This unassuming coin could change your life. But before we dive into the mind-blowing value of this penny, I need to ask you one question. Are you ready to discover if you're sitting on a small fortune? Stick around, because the truth will shock you. But, be warned, this could be a game changer. Let's start at the beginning. In 1995, the U.S. Mint released a series of Lincoln pennies with a D Mint mark. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch. Among these pennies, there's a rare variety that could be worth up to $988,000. That's almost $1 million for a single penny. So, what makes this penny so special? Why are collectors and coin enthusiasts hunting for it? Well, the answer lies in one small, seemingly insignificant detail, the error. The 1995 D Lincoln penny that could be worth a fortune is a double die obverse error. This means that the design was stamped twice, causing a noticeable misalignment. Most of these errors happened at the Denver Mint, and because of that, they're extremely rare. We're talking about a coin with visible doubling on the date and liberty, things that can only be seen under magnification. Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these $1 million pennies? Well, that's where the fun begins. You need to know what to look for. And trust me, you don't want to miss it because spotting one could change your financial future. But here's the thing, not all 1995 D pennies are worth that much. So before you rush off and start sorting through your coin collection, let me ask you, have you ever seen your change jar as a $1 million jackpot? Well, you might want to start looking at it a little differently from now on. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about how to find it. Here's where the real adventure begins. You could be holding on to a $988,000 penny right now, and not even know it. But time is of the essence. The coin market is hot right now, with collectors and investors fighting for rare pieces like this. Prices are soaring, and those pennies that you might dismiss as just old could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. Here's the thing. Coins like the 1995 D double die obverse don't sit around waiting for you to discover them. They're bought and sold in the blink of an eye. Auction houses, dealers, and collectors are constantly on the lookout. And the truth is, you could be sitting on a gold mine without realizing it. But how long will it take before someone else finds it? That's the question you need to ask yourself. You're sitting on your couch, drinking coffee, and someone walks into your living room with an offer for your rare penny, but only if you act now. Tick-tock, that offer might not last forever. Think you can wait until next week to sell it? Spoiler alert, you might miss the chance of a lifetime. We've arrived at the most crucial part of the story. Time is running out. If you have a 1995 D mint mark Lincoln penny, especially with that double die error, the market could be your playground. But here's the kicker, these rare pennies don't last long on the market. If you want to capitalize on this opportunity, the time to act is now. The value of these coins has skyrocketed in recent years, and there's no sign of it slowing down. Just think about it for a moment. This penny could be the key to unlocking financial freedom. Whether you're looking to pay off debt, invest in your future, or simply live a more comfortable life, this coin could change everything. But you need to act fast. With collectors, investors, and even the US Mint taking notice of these rare pennies, they're becoming harder to find, and even harder to keep. Stay tuned, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal the exact steps you need to take to sell your 1995 D Lincoln penny for top dollar. You won't want to miss this, trust me, it could be the moment that changes everything for you. Get ready, because the next step could be the most important decision you ever make. Don't go anywhere, because when we return, I'll show you how to cash in on this rare opportunity. What if I told you that you could be sitting on a small fortune? A rare coin worth up to $985,000, yes, you heard that right. One single penny could change your life forever. That's the kind of money that could give you the freedom to live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of, but here's the catch, most people overlook it. A tiny mint mark, the difference between a normal penny and one that's worth nearly $1 million. It could be in your pocket right now. So, keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to cash in on your hidden treasure. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about the penny you dropped on the ground last week, unless you picked it up, of course. But trust me, you're going to want to hear about this one. Let's talk about the 1997 D mint mark Lincoln penny. Most people think of pennies as nothing more than loose change. You toss them in jars, throw them away, or just forget about them altogether. But what if I told you that a single 1997 D penny, just like the one you might have at home, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? This isn't a fantasy, folks. This is real. The key lies in a small, almost invisible detail, the mint mark. A subtle D stamped on the coin signifies that it was minted in Denver. And while it may seem insignificant to most, a specific set of circumstances surrounding this penny makes it one of the most valuable coins in circulation today. Now, here's where things get interesting. A certain error in the minting process made some of these pennies incredibly rare. Some are even worth up to $985,000, that's nearly $1 million, but hold on. It's not that simple. You have to know what to look for, and not all 1997 D pennies are created equal. How do you tell the difference between a run-of-the-mill penny and one that could make you a fortune? Don't worry, I'll explain everything in just a moment, and no, you're not going to find it under your couch cushions, or on the street outside your favorite fast food joint. But stay with me. So, why exactly is the 1997 D penny so valuable? It all boils down to a minting error that resulted in a few pennies being produced with a major flaw. These errors are rare, and you know what they say, rarity drives value. Here's the thing, this penny isn't just a regular 1997 D penny. These rare versions were struck with a double die error, a mistake where the design was stamped more than once, creating a doubled image. This gives the penny an extra layer of detail, making it visually different from the rest. Can you imagine holding a coin in your hand worth over $900,000? It's not a fantasy. It's the kind of life-changing amount of money that could pay off your mortgage, take care of your kids' college funds, and give you that dream vacation you've always wanted. Now, here's the kicker, finding one of these double-die 1997 D pennies is not easy. It requires patience, knowledge, and, of course, a little bit of luck. But if you have one, you could potentially be looking at a major payday. But here's the truth that many collectors won't tell you: time is running out. The market for rare coins like this is incredibly competitive. More people are becoming aware of their worth every day, and the prices could go up, or they could drop. It's a risk, yes, but one worth taking. Come on, imagine telling your friends you just sold a penny for $500,000. You might get a few raised eyebrows, but hey, those are the people who've been tossing their change away, right? Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1997 D penny is worth something? It's simple. You need to inspect it closely. Look for signs of the double die error. Does it have doubled letters or numbers? Does it look different from a regular penny? Those are the signs you're looking for. And once you find it, the next step is to get it appraised. Once you've verified its value, the next question is, how do you sell it? The good news is, you don't have to go through complicated channels. You can auction your penny online, work with professional coin dealers, or even reach out to private collectors who specialize in rare coins. But here's where it gets even more exciting: the auction world for rare coins is thriving. People are paying top dollar for these kinds of collectibles. Your coin could easily end up in a collector's hands who is willing to pay top dollar. How crazy is it that a penny, something we all grew up taking for granted, could be your ticket to a completely different lifestyle? You're just a few steps away from securing that big sale, but you have to act quickly. These coins are rare, and the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. The sooner you sell, the better. That 1997 D penny sitting in your jar, your drawer, or even your wallet could be worth more than you ever imagined. A potential fortune just waiting to be discovered. So, what's next? It's time to start looking for it. Examine your pennies with a new perspective. Don't overlook this chance to change your life. And, who knows, maybe one of these pennies is going to make you the next big coin collector in the world. But what about those other rare coins sitting in your collection? Could they be worth even more than this? Stay tuned for the next video, where we uncover another hidden gem that could be worth even more than your 1997 D penny. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. You might have a coin that could change your life. Yes, a single penny that could be worth up to $981,000. Sounds unbelievable? Well, strap in, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot this hidden treasure, the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Stay tuned, because this is more than just a coin, it's your ticket to a whole new future. The Lincoln pennies from that year were struck without a mint mark. Now, normally, every penny from the US Mint has a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco, except in this rare case, the penny was left without any mark at all. Why is this important? Well, it turns out that when a penny doesn't have a mint mark, it's not just any old coin, it's a rare error that collectors are desperate to get their hands on. These pennies can be worth a lot of money. In fact, a lot, up to $981,000. That's not a typo. But here's the catch: you need to know exactly what to look for. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how do I know if my penny is one of these? Well, we're about to dive deep into that, so don't go anywhere. Okay, let's talk about how to find this valuable penny. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny has a couple of distinguishing features that can set it apart from a regular penny. First, take a close look at your penny. Does it have the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" visible? Check. Is the date 2000 clear? Great. But here's where it gets interesting: does it have a mint mark? If the answer is no, congratulations, you might be holding a goldmine. But wait, there's more. While these pennies are rare, they're not all created equal. The value can vary significantly based on the condition of the coin. A penny in pristine condition can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended, while one in poor condition may only be worth a few dollars. Here's the real kicker: the condition of the coin makes all the difference. For example, a 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny in mint condition, yes, looking as if it just came out of the factory yesterday, can sell for around $2,000 to $5,000. But a penny that's in near perfect condition and well preserved can bring in hundreds of thousands, with some of the rarest specimens reaching up to $981,000 at auction. You're probably thinking, how do I know if my penny is worth that much? Well, keep watching, and we'll cover that in just a second. Before we move forward, quick question: have you ever imagined selling something as small as a penny for nearly $1 million? Most people don't even realize they could be holding a treasure right in their hand. But the moment you find that 2000 no mint mark penny, everything changes. Alright, let's get back to it. Here's where the urgency kicks in. You have to act quickly. The value of rare coins like this one is constantly fluctuating. And the demand for the 2000 no mint mark penny is only going up as more collectors discover just how valuable they can be. If you find one of these coins in your collection, or even in your change, you need to get it evaluated as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the more likely someone else will find and claim your hidden fortune. And here's the scary part: people miss these pennies every day. Most don't even know that they're sitting on a potential small fortune. Imagine the regret someone must feel if they accidentally spend a coin worth $981,000. Start by checking all your 2000 pennies, yes, the ones lying around in your drawer or jar of spare change. Don't throw them away. Take them to a coin dealer or send them to a professional grading service. Trust me, it's worth the small investment to find out if you've struck gold. Once the word gets out that you've got something valuable, people will be knocking at your door. It's not every day you get a shot at $1 million penny, but remember, this opportunity isn't going to last forever. The longer you wait, the more likely you are to miss out. That's why now is the perfect time to cash in on your rare pennies. Now, you might be asking, what else could be out there? What other rare pennies could I be missing? Well, I've got even more valuable coins to tell you about in future videos, coins that could be worth even more than the 2000 no mint mark penny. So, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on these potential treasures. Alright, it's time for you to take action. If you've got a 2000 no mint mark penny, don't let it slip through your fingers. Get it checked, appraised, and who knows, your next step could be stepping into a life of wealth you never imagined. And remember, this could be your moment. Don't let it pass you by. What if I told you that a simple penny, one that you could have overlooked in your change jar, could be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, stick around because today, we're diving into a 2001 mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. But here's the catch: if you're not paying attention, someone else might snatch it up before you even realize what you have. So, if you want to learn about this rare penny, how to spot it, and how to sell it for top dollar, keep watching. It's 2001. The world is buzzing with new technology, the iPod is just becoming a household name, and George W. Bush is sworn in as president. But while the world is focused on bigger things, something very small was quietly being minted, by the millions. It's the 2001 Lincoln penny. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, that's just a regular penny. I've seen them everywhere. But here's where the story gets interesting. This penny is not your average coin. In fact, in extremely rare cases, it's worth an astonishing amount of money, up to $979,000. But don't just take my word for it. Let's break it down. To the untrained eye, a 2001 Lincoln penny might just look like any other copper coin. But hidden within these coins is a rare error that makes it incredibly valuable. A tiny, but significant, minting flaw, one that could make you rich overnight. Sounds exciting, right? But here's the twist: only a few of these pennies have the error. And it's so small that most people don't even notice it. So, what is this error exactly? It's a double die, meaning that the coin has a faint second strike of the design, making it look like the date and some details are slightly duplicated. This flaw occurs when the die used to strike the penny was misaligned during the minting process. Just a tiny mistake, but it changes everything. Imagine you had a coin sitting in your drawer, just waiting for the right person to come along and pay top dollar for it. It's not just about the error. It's about the rarity, the condition of the coin, and most importantly, the timing. Because right now, there's a growing market of collectors, and they want this penny. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. If you can find one of these rare pennies in perfect condition, you could be sitting on a goldmine. But here's the kicker, these rare 2001D pennies are becoming harder and harder to find. The longer you wait, the less likely you are to find one in time to cash in on the big bucks. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare pennies in your collection? First, check the date. It has to be a 2001 penny with a D mint mark. Then, flip it over and inspect the coin closely. Look for that doubling in the design, especially around the date and Lincoln's ear. If you see it, you could be holding something worth thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of dollars. And don't just toss your change around like it's nothing. If you've got one of these rare pennies, treat it like it's a tiny treasure chest. You wouldn't throw gold bars into your purse, right? Same goes for this penny. Protect it. Now, here's the big question, who is going to be the one to buy your rare coin? The truth is, coin collectors and investors are out there, looking for these kinds of pennies. You just have to know where to sell it. But how do you get top dollar for it? Should you take it to a local coin shop? Or is there a better way to sell it for the best price? Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly how to sell your rare 2001D penny for maximum profit, and I'll give you some insider tips on how to avoid common mistakes that could cost you big money. Stay tuned, because you're about to discover how to turn that one penny into a life-changing amount of cash. Now, selling your 2001D penny for top dollar isn't as simple as throwing it on eBay and hoping for the best. There are a few key strategies you'll want to know. First, make sure you have it properly graded. This is where an expert coin grading service comes in, such as PCGS or NGC. These companies will authenticate your penny and assign it a grade based on its condition, which can significantly increase its value. Next, know your market. The best time to sell your rare penny is when demand is high. Right now, rare coins are gaining attention in the market. But keep an eye on auction sites, and consider reaching out to top collectors or even coin brokers. Timing is everything. But don't wait too long. These rare pennies are already starting to become harder to find, and prices are fluctuating. If you want to cash in, now is the time. So, what's the takeaway? The 2001D Lincoln penny is not just another coin, it's a potential jackpot. If you have one in your collection, don't let it slip through your fingers. You could be sitting on a fortune. But remember, this is just the beginning. There are hundreds of other coins out there with similar potential to make you rich. Want to know about them? Stick around for more videos, where we dive into other rare pennies that could change your life. And who knows, maybe your next find is just around the corner. So, check your change, keep your eyes open, and keep collecting. Your $1 million coin could be waiting. But what if I told you that the 2005 Lincoln penny, yes, that penny you might have sitting in your pocket or in an old jar of coins, could turn out to be your ticket to unimaginable wealth? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this coin and why it's worth a small fortune. Ready to unlock a treasure that could change your life forever? At first glance, this 2005 Lincoln penny may seem like nothing special. After all, it's just a regular penny, one of the billions minted. But hold on. What if there was something more? What if this very penny sitting in your collection, or maybe in a box of loose change, was an unrecognized fortune waiting to be discovered? You see, not all pennies are created equal. And while most 2005 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there's a rare, very specific 2005 penny that's worth a small fortune. The key is the absence of a mint mark. This penny is known as the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And let me tell you, this is where the story gets exciting. Because a single coin like this could fetch you nearly $1 million. Now, you're probably thinking, why is a penny, a lowly coin, worth so much? The answer lies in its rarity and history. You see, the 2005 Lincoln penny was initially meant to be minted in Philadelphia. However, due to an error, a small number of these pennies were produced without the mint mark, an unmistakable flaw that makes them incredibly rare. In fact, experts estimate there are fewer than a few dozen of these no mint mark coins in circulation. Cut to an image of a coin expert with a magnifying glass, closely inspecting a penny. Most people don't realize the significance of this flaw. The absence of a mint mark makes it a one-of-a-kind piece of American numismatic history, and that rarity is exactly why it's valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars, even up to $975,000. But here's the catch, these coins are extremely hard to find. The vast majority of 2005 pennies out there are not the rare, no mint mark variety. And even if you have one, it's easy to overlook unless you know exactly what you're looking for. So, how do you find this treasure? It's all about the details. The first thing you'll want to check is the absence of the mint mark, which should normally be located near the bottom of the reverse side of the coin. If it's missing, congratulations, you're halfway to a small fortune. Now, don't get too excited just yet. Before you start listing your coin on eBay for $1 million, there are a few more things to keep in mind. Remember, not every 2005 penny without a mint mark is a gold mine. You need to check its condition, its provenance, and even have it authenticated by a professional. But hey, it's worth a shot, right? Voiceover shifts to a more serious tone. Once you've identified your rare 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the next step is knowing how to sell it. The market for rare coins is hot right now, with collectors eager to get their hands on pieces like this. To maximize its value, you'll want to work with reputable coin dealers or auction houses that specialize in high-value coins. These experts can help you authenticate and appraise the coin properly, ensuring you get the highest price possible. Now, I've shared with you the secrets to finding a rare 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and how it could change your life. But here's the thing, time is of the essence. These coins are out there, and someone, maybe even you, is going to find one. But will you be the one to take the leap and sell it for a life-changing sum? Or will you let this opportunity slip through your fingers? The clock is ticking, and the market waits for no one. Brief pause, then cut to black screen with bold text. Do you have what it takes to uncover the next big treasure? Let's find out. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about rare coins that could be worth thousands, or even millions, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss the next big find. Who knows? The next coin could be the one that makes you rich. Imagine holding a penny so rare, so valuable, that it could make you an instant millionaire. Now, ask yourself, what if it's already sitting in your pocket right now? Yes, a humble 1965 Lincoln penny could be worth up to $999,000. That's right, one penny, nearly $1 million. Intrigued? Well, stick around because in this video, we're diving deep into the true value of this coin and what makes it so incredibly valuable. Spoiler alert, there's a twist that even seasoned collectors often overlook. Before you go rummaging through your loose change, let's break down exactly what to look for and what makes this coin so special. Because, believe it or not, you might have your hands on a rare gem, and the clock is ticking. To understand why this coin could be so valuable, let's start with a bit of history. The year was 1965, a turbulent time in America. We had the Vietnam War, cultural revolutions, and economic challenges. And amidst all that, the U.S. Mint made a bold decision. Due to a national coin shortage, they stopped putting mint marks on pennies in 1965. This means no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just plain, unmarked pennies pouring out of the Philadelphia Mint. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Pennies without mint marks are common, right? But here's the kicker, most 1965 pennies were made with standard copper alloy. However, a few were struck using experimental metals, or due to minting errors, creating coins unlike any others. Imagine stumbling upon a penny that's part of a hidden history, minted in a time of great change. And that's just the beginning. Let's be real for a second, who actually thinks about 1965 when holding a penny? Most of us don't even give it a second glance, right? But, as it turns out, overlooking this penny could be like ignoring a winning lottery ticket. Now, let's talk about what makes this 1965 Lincoln penny stand out. This is where things get interesting. If you're holding on to a 1965 penny, start by looking for two things: its metal composition and any unusual features, like doubling or error marks. The rarer the characteristics, the higher the value. Some 1965 pennies were mistakenly struck with silver instead of copper, a highly unusual occurrence. That's where the big money lies, but here's something even most collectors don't know: the value of these coins can fluctuate dramatically, even day by day. So what should you be watching for? We'll get to that in just a moment. Alright, now let's talk numbers. A regular 1965 penny might only fetch a few cents above face value. However, an error coin or one with a rare composition has sold at auctions for thousands, even close to $1 million. It sounds unreal, right? But imagine the feeling of seeing an ordinary penny transformed into a life-changing sum. Suddenly, every penny you've ever collected or inherited takes on a whole new meaning. Ever wonder if that jar of pennies in the attic is actually a mini treasure chest? I bet you're tempted to check right now. But hold on, we're about to uncover even more. So, what's the next step? First, examine your coin. Look at the color, weigh it if possible, and get a magnifying glass to inspect any strange markings. If you notice something unusual, don't ignore it. Get a second opinion, ideally from a professional coin appraiser. Now, here's where things get urgent, because there's a window of opportunity here. The demand for rare pennies is rising, and collectors are paying more than ever. But will this last? That's a question no one can answer for sure. In today's world, the chance to sell a rare 1965 penny for nearly $1 million might just be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And if you're like most people watching this, you might not want to miss that chance. Imagine this: instead of digging under the couch cushions for spare change, you're digging under them for an early retirement fund. Closing, call to action. So, what are you waiting for? Go through your old pennies, check the dates, inspect for errors, and see if that 1965 penny could be your golden ticket. And remember, sometimes the key to wealth is hiding in plain sight, right under your nose, or maybe just in your pocket. Did you know that a single penny in your pocket, a penny you might even overlook or accidentally drop, could actually be worth almost $1 million? That's right, in this video, we're talking about the mysterious and highly valuable 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that collectors are hunting for. This coin could be hidden away in your home right now, waiting to change your life. Imagine finding one of these rare pennies tucked in an old jar or drawer. It might be the very key to your financial freedom. But here's the thing: not every 1967 penny is worth a fortune. There are some very specific characteristics you need to look for, and if you miss even one detail, you could overlook a small fortune. Today, I'll guide you through exactly what to look for, why it's so valuable, and how you can capitalize on this extraordinary opportunity. Let's dive into why this 1967 Lincoln penny is causing a stir among collectors. First, let's address the no mint mark feature. A typical penny has a mint mark indicating where it was produced, like D for Denver. However, the 1967 penny was part of a rare production period where the U.S. Mint actually excluded mint marks to save time. This detail alone makes the coin unique, but what's really valuable is its rarity in perfect, uncirculated condition. A flawless penny, or one with minor imperfections, could fetch hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million at auction. Now, before you go rummaging through every penny jar, here's what you need to know. Collectors are looking for coins with virtually no signs of wear, high gloss, and strong detail. Even a small scratch or blemish can drastically reduce its value. So, if you come across one, handle it carefully. That small coin could hold your next big payday. It's a penny. I can't make real money off of this. But here's the twist. Recently, a 1967 no-mint mark penny in exceptional condition sold for over $40,000, and a few years ago, a similar coin almost hit the $1 million mark. Hard to believe. That's exactly the mindset that could cause you to miss out on life-changing wealth. So, why is this penny in such demand? Coins from this era often exhibit unique variations, like the occasional double die feature or what's known as a proof finish. Imagine this: if your 1967 penny has a doubling effect, meaning the lettering appears slightly duplicated, you're holding something even rarer. This double die version has been known to send values soaring to tens of thousands of dollars alone, but the biggest question remains: how do you tell if your penny has these traits, and what should you do if you find one? Stick with me because, in just a moment, I'll walk you through the simple steps to identify these valuable characteristics and the best strategies to maximize your profits. So, what should you do if you find a 1967 no-mint mark penny that looks like it might be the real deal? First, don't clean it. Seriously. Even though it may seem like a good idea to polish it up, cleaning a coin can drastically reduce its value. Instead, store it safely in a coin sleeve or a soft cloth. Next, it's time to get it appraised by a professional coin grader. This part is crucial: the better the condition, the higher the grade, and the more potential value. A professional appraisal could turn your small find into a certified rare coin worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine walking into an auction, where buyers are practically competing for the chance to own a piece of history that you found. And here's a thought: how many times have we overlooked that little cup holder in the car or ignored a coin on the ground, thinking, it's just a penny? Well, after today, I bet you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Now that you know the potential of this penny, take action. Whether you're sitting on a valuable 1967 penny or looking to dive deeper into rare coin collecting, start searching now. These opportunities won't last forever. There are fewer and fewer of these coins in circulation each day, making each find rarer and more valuable. You check your old coin stash, find a 1967 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition, and months later, you're holding a check for tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the power of knowledge. It turns a simple penny into an opportunity. Don't wait. Start searching, get your coins appraised, and who knows? Maybe you're closer to financial freedom than you think. We're diving into the incredible world of coin collecting, where a single penny, the 1970 Lincoln penny, could change your life. Now, imagine checking your pocket change, finding a penny, and realizing it's worth close to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1 million, just sitting in your old coin jar, or maybe hiding in plain sight in your wallet. How can a single penny, something so ordinary, be so valuable? Well, this isn't just any penny. The 1970 Lincoln penny is rare, and some of these coins have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions. We're going to unpack why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and the specifics you need to know if you're holding on to one of these golden tickets. But before we go further, let me ask you, do you know where all your pennies are? Maybe it's time to check that jar again, or who knows, maybe that penny you thought was just good luck is actually worth a fortune. Because here's the catch: people all across the US are uncovering these gems and turning tiny coins into massive paydays. So why is the 1970 Lincoln penny so special? Let's go back and see what makes this coin unique and so incredibly valuable. The 1970s were a fascinating time for US currency, especially coins. The Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies that year, but just a few had slight, nearly invisible errors or anomalies. These errors might sound like small imperfections, but they're what makes certain 1970 pennies worth more than just 1 cent. They're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. Not every collector, or even experienced dealer, can spot these rare features right away. That's why so many of these pennies are still out there, waiting to be discovered. So, what should you look for in a 1970 penny to know if it's truly valuable? There are a few telltale signs. If you inspect the date or certain letters, like Liberty or In God We Trust, you might notice faint, but clear, doubling. This doubling error is a primary factor that could make your coin worth thousands. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, or MS grade, hold even more value. A well-preserved 1970 penny with these errors in mint condition could bring you closer to the six-figure mark. It may sound simple, but pennies with a rich red luster are in greater demand and can fetch premium prices. Now, don't go squinting too hard at every penny you find and calling it rare. A doubling error doesn't mean you're seeing double, it's all about precision here. So, maybe now you're thinking, okay, I get it, a few pennies might be valuable. But could mine really be worth up to $991,000? Hang tight, because in a moment, I'll reveal how this coin's value has soared so high. So, you're holding this special 1970 penny. How do you know what it's truly worth? Well, the value can range dramatically, from a few thousand to nearly $1 million. This massive price difference comes down to a few factors: condition, rarity, and yes, a bit of luck. Auction houses across the country have seen these coins go for mind-boggling amounts. For example, one exceptionally rare 1970 penny with these precise features sold for nearly $991,000 at an auction. That's life-changing money for a coin most people would pass up in a parking lot. Think about that. With the right buyer and the right features, your old penny could turn into a payday that most only dream about. Imagine handing it over to a cashier for change. Hopefully, they'd call you back before letting that go in a register. Now, if this hasn't motivated you to start digging through your old coin collection, I don't know what will. But before you start, let me share a few final steps on what to do if you think you have one of these valuable coins. That if you believe you have a 1970 penny with these rare features, here's what you should do: inspect the coin carefully, look for doubling errors and check the overall condition. Use a magnifying glass to help. Get an expert's opinion. Take your coin to a professional appraiser or a reputable auction house. They'll help confirm its authenticity and provide you with a precise valuation. Protect your investment. If it turns out you have the real deal, store it properly. Many high-value coins are stored in protective holders to preserve their quality. Remember, coins like this don't come around often. So, don't let doubt or hesitation keep you from exploring this hidden treasure. A penny might seem insignificant, but as we've seen, a single rare coin could open the doors to financial freedom. You have the power to unlock a life-changing opportunity, and it could all start with one small, overlooked penny. So go ahead, take that chance, check your change, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own piece of hidden wealth. What if I told you that penny could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. The seemingly ordinary 1977 Lincoln penny could hold a secret worth up to $987,000. This rare coin could be your golden ticket to wealth and financial freedom. Stick with me to uncover the secrets of this little treasure you might already have lying around. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Minted for over a century, most people think of it as just another penny. But not all pennies are created equal. In fact, the 1977 Lincoln penny, especially those without a visible mint mark, can be incredibly valuable. And no, it's not just worth a couple of bucks, it could be worth life-changing sums. So, why is a simple 1977 penny so valuable? And why are some people cashing in thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for these coins? Well, the answer lies in something most people overlook. What if the wealth you've been looking for has been in your spare change all along? Let's find out what makes these pennies worth a fortune. By the way, when was the last time you checked under your couch cushions? Seriously, that forgotten pile of change could be your first step toward a major payday. Alright, here's where things get interesting. The 1977 Lincoln penny you're looking for has no mint mark on it. A mint mark is a small letter found on coins that tells you where it was made, typically Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. But in rare cases, due to minting errors or intentional variations, some pennies are made without any mint mark at all. Why does that matter? Because no mint mark on a 1977 penny means it was most likely minted in Philadelphia, where some rarities can slip through. These minting quirks create the perfect storm for collectors. A unique, unmarked penny is like a diamond in the rough for coin collectors, who are willing to pay premium prices for coins with rare or distinctive qualities. Now here's the exciting part: high-quality, uncirculated versions of these 1977 no-mint mark pennies have been auctioned for thousands, even reaching a mind-boggling $987,000. Imagine selling just one penny for enough to buy your dream home, take that bucket list vacation, or retire early. But why are some 1977 pennies worth a few bucks, and others worth nearly $1 million? The answer has everything to do with condition, rarity, and one surprising factor that most people miss. Now, let's break down what to look for so you don't accidentally toss a fortune back into your spare change jar. When it comes to identifying a valuable 1977 no-mint mark penny, pay close attention to the coin's condition. Those nearly perfect, untouched, mint-state coins are the ones collectors prize. Any scratches, discoloration, or wear can lower the value. Think of it this way: would you rather buy a brand new car or one that's been heavily used? Collectors think the same way about coins, but even circulated pennies, those that have been used, can still hold significant value if they meet certain criteria. Look for coins with clear details and minimal wear. And remember, if you do have a 1977 penny without a mint mark in great condition, it could be worth thousands, if not more. Just imagine, what if that penny you used in a gumball machine last year was one of these rare coins? Ouch! To take it a step further, some coin shops, auction houses, and online marketplaces are eager to buy these pennies, so if you find a potential winner, you can turn it into cash fast. There's an active, thriving market out there for valuable coins. And let's face it, who doesn't want to be the one with the $1 million penny? But here's a twist: the rarest, most valuable 1977 pennies aren't the only valuable coins in circulation right now. In fact, you might be holding on to other coins worth thousands without even realizing it. In my next video, I'll uncover more hidden treasures in your change jar and show you exactly which coins to look out for to make your fortune. Don't miss out on this chance to turn spare change into a gold mine. That's right, a humble 1991 Lincoln penny, but not just any penny, one without a mint mark. And if you're lucky enough to find it, you could be staring at a payday worth up to $981,000. Sound impossible? Stick around, because today we're going to dive deep into why this penny could be worth a small fortune and how you might just have one hiding in your pocket, your couch, or even that old jar of change in the closet. Let's get into it. In 1991, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted, each stamped with a tiny letter indicating where it was made. Most of these pennies have either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But occasionally, pennies were minted without any mint mark at all. And it's these rare, unmarked coins that collectors are desperately hunting for. Now, I know what you're thinking: how could one tiny missing letter make such a big difference in value? Well, this isn't just any missing letter, this is what separates an average penny from an almost mythical coin worth nearly $1 million. Imagine the thrill of realizing your everyday change could bring you closer to financial freedom. But wait, before you run off to check your piggy bank, there are a few things you need to know. These coins are rare, but they're out there. And if you know what to look for, you just might be one of the lucky few who cashes in big. Now, before you start tearing your house apart looking for this magic penny, let's walk through what makes it so special. After all, we're talking about one in millions here. But hey, who needs the lottery when you've got the right penny, am I right? Alright, let's dive into what exactly you're looking for, and why. I'm going to take you through 3 critical points that will not only increase your chances of spotting this jackpot penny but will also teach you what serious coin collectors are looking for. First, let's talk about what makes the 1991 no mint mark penny valuable. You see, when pennies are produced, the mint mark indicates where they're made. No mark at all. That's what's called an error coin, a rarity that collectors go wild for. And the more pristine your penny, the higher the value. Think of it like finding a rare comic book in mint condition. Next, let's tackle the condition itself. Now, I'm going to be honest, condition is everything here. A worn-out penny won't pull in the big bucks. But if it's shiny, crisp, and untouched by time, then you might just be holding on to a real prize. Imagine, one penny in almost perfect condition, almost $1 million richer. But here's the cliffhanger, finding that pristine penny. Not as easy as it sounds. So, who knew something that's just a penny could cause such a stir, right? Yet, here we are, and collectors are offering up thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, for just the right one. Now, I know you're itching to know exactly how to tell if you have a 1991 no mint mark penny and what signs to look for. We're getting to that. But let's talk market value first. The demand for these coins isn't just a passing trend, it's skyrocketing. Alright, you're probably thinking, so what's the real deal here? How much is this penny worth today, and why such a crazy amount? Let's break it down, because this next part will blow your mind. The highest recorded sale of a 1991 no mint mark penny was jaw-dropping. We're talking 6 figures. But here's the catch, most people don't even know that this opportunity exists. These pennies are often overlooked, mistaken for worthless coins, and traded as pocket change. This could be one of the easiest fortunes people have ever missed, and here's the thing, the window is closing. As collectors become aware and scoop up these rare finds, fewer will be available, driving the value up even more. So if you find one, act fast. Don't just toss it in with your loose change. Instead, get it authenticated by a reputable coin dealer or grading service, because the condition is what ultimately locks in that top dollar. Let's be real, how many times in life do you find money lying around your house that's worth 6 figures? So, what are you waiting for? Check your change jars, your drawers, even the car cup holder. Just one penny could change your life. Remember, this isn't just about finding an old coin. It's about the thrill of turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. And who knows? You might just join the ranks of those lucky few who cash in big on a penny most people wouldn't even notice. Imagine what that money could mean for your dreams, your lifestyle, your future. So get searching, and good luck. That penny worth almost $1 million could be waiting right at your fingertips.